Before we get started, I'd like to briefly explain my 7 energy point chakra spread. The cards on the left are the unconscious inner self. The card in the center is the heart. And the 3 cards on the right are the conscious foreself. The card on the bottom left is the base of your spine. It's a combination of many things, from past lives to tragic or cherished childhood memories up to the present. We're always culling and bringing new things into our lives and evolving. That's why I'm calling it sourcings and urgings instead of foundation. The second card up is your pelvic or sacrum. And this is awakening or arousing. This is where your spiritual awakening is, and growth of all kinds, and includes your sexual prowess. This can be a cosmic life breath. The cosmos has natural laws that live in harmony, but we don't always live in harmony with them. The top left-hand card is the solar plexus, or what I consider sensing and feeling. This is where you get those gut feelings about something, when they're right or wrong. This is also a universal life force, contrary to a cosmic life breath. This is where chaos ensues in our lives. The center card is the heart of the matter, or the situation. We're always asking questions. Why did this happen, and what's going to happen next? The heart of the matter must connect with the unconscious and the conscious, so we can leave our shadow self in the dust. Another Jungian reality here. And maybe have more of an understanding of what's happening in our lives. The card on the bottom right is the throat, or what I consider communicating and teachings. It has to do with how we accept the rules of society and how we live our life. Are you living a conservative, orthodox life, or more of a new wave, do what you want kind of life? The second card up is the third eye, or seeing or envisioning. It's more of bringing things from a linear to a 3-dimensional perspective. The third eye is our pineal gland in the center of our brain that's activated by light. So this can also be considered enlightenment. The card on the top right is the crown, our knowing and understanding. You can have a lot of knowledge, but if you cannot apply this knowledge wisely, it's not wisdom. In the past, I used to pull a hidden Rider-Waite card as I was doing the readings, but for logistic reasons, I'm going to be pulling all of the cards at once, and then putting these clarification cards alongside each of the main cards as I'm telling the story of the reading. The subtitles will direct you through this so you don't lose track of what's going on and where I'm at and what card I'm reading. And then on the left, I'll be putting a past card, and on the right, I'll be putting a future card, and on with the readings. Hey Virgo, I think you noticed that I won't be doing a Messages of the Angel card reading, and in lieu I'll be doing a rune reading that's associated to the tarot card reading. I like runes. I grew up part of my life near a very famous rune stone, and I have a connection to the runes. I've had these little runes for years. You'll see them under the center card. I have a rune on the back of a miniature Rider-Waite card so you can see it. I do plan on doing more future rune readings, so maybe I'll have to get some bigger ones at some point in time. Now, as you're listening to my reading, think about a yes or no question for something you desire, because at the end of the reading I'll be doing a 8-ball game, and we'll see what the answer is. Now, I know everybody pretty much clawed through April, or are still clawing through April. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but May looks quite a bit brighter. The planets are in harmonious aspects to each other, and the commanding energy is air and fire, and air combusts fire, so things are meshing really well, and May has more of a breezy and free flow feeling to it. A lot of the signs are changing their attitude and finding new ways to move forward. And there was a lot of Wheel of Fortunes and Nine of Cups, the Wish card. And then there was a few signs here that need to make some decisions, and Gemini was one of them. And definitely, you're the other one that needs to make some decisions, some dire decisions. If my memory serves me correctly, you've been holding back making some very important decisions in your life, and it's ramified your life. It's impacted your life to the point where the tower is shaking the foundation of your world. Now, you're not the only one that received the tower. For these 12 readings I've done for May, the tower came up over and over again for people to renew their life and release themselves out of bondage and finding relief. And this is really what you have to do. Let's go into your reading and see what's going on here. I'm going to start from the past because I think it's very pertinent and also pivotal for what your present is bringing you and what's in your future. On the left for your past, you received the King of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the apex of wealth and health. Or is it? Because the Five of Pentacles means you're impoverished. You're lacking something. And if it's not material things, and I don't see it happening there because of the King of Pentacles, you're impoverished emotionally. You feel like you're lacking in love and there's a black hole somewhere. Maybe it's just your perception of it, but that's enough to change everything. I came across the word deprivation the other day, and it is the damaging lack of material things or things that are needed in your life. And I thought, that is the Five of Pentacles. And then it has a lot of D words involved in it. Deprivation, destitution, hardship, denial, distress. Okay, one of them wasn't a D word. Things haven't been going very well, especially in your recent past. Now let's go over to the base of your spine. You received the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords. The Swords are our harsh teacher, and you got two very harsh cards here. The Nine of Swords is about being in the depths of despair. We're back into the D words of despondence, distress, discouraged, desperate for hope and relief. You've been your own worst enemy and in some state of dissolution and personal torment. Something is bothering you that's eating you up inside. The 9 circles of Dante's infernal hell are sucking you towards the gates of hell and putting you across the river Styx. But the number 9 means a completion is occurring and just around the corner. And perhaps difficulties will lighten up, but it's really up to you to make the right decisions. You have to face your fears, or they'll face you. You're at the back gates to an end of a cycle. Thank goodness. Now the Seven of Swords is the charlatan card. Somebody's stealing from you, but typically it's somebody stealing your emotions. They're being emotional vampires, and the only thing you're guilty of is allowing it to happen. Now up in your pelvic and sacrum for awakening and arousing, you receive the Star and the Hierophant. These are really two spiritual cards. The Star is saying that the fog is dissipating and the light is being cast on a road of cosmic understanding and healing for hope and the future. It's like a gossamer veil that's lifting, and you're seeing things now with more clarity, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But this is where you have to start loving thyself and seeing the bright light inside you. The Star brings a gift of comprehension and indicates that creative energies are flowing. And finally, maybe you can achieve some happiness inside yourself. And the Hierophant is there to represent traditional teachings and how you can expand your spiritual self. The Star brings clarity, and the Hierophant brings truth. When you see him in a spread, it means you're seeking some kind of truth. The word Hierophant in Latin means to make known or to show. And you know there's been a lot of truths out there, but you've just been looking at it. You haven't really been seeing and understanding these truths. Now up in the solar plexus, for sensing and feeling, you receive the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups. You know, everybody thinks the Eight of Cups is a bummer card, you know. Oh God, I got the Eight of Cups, I'm walking away from something. But to me, it's like freeing yourself. Oh yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not sticking around anymore. It's time to leave. It's time to change. And the Five of Cups, too, is another card that's about a lot of D words: despondency, displacement, depression. It is time for you to move on and change it out of here. I know some of the readings I've given Virgo lately have been very tough. And I know Scorpio has gone through 5 years of just disparity. Saturn's been in the second house. A lot of things have been going on with Scorpio and Virgo. And now Scorpio's starting to climb out of this, but now it's up to you to start seeing some truths to climb out of the hole that you're in now, because you've been in a black hole. Now in the center, for the heart of the matter, you receive the Ten of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. Now this isn't anything new to you, that the Ten of Wands indicates a lot of responsibility and a heavy load. Since you're so detail-oriented anyway, you usually do take on a heavy load and do a good job at something and recheck everything diligently. Now the Three of Pentacles indicates that you're building something. I call this the Architect card. But it's also usually indicating a group effort, some type of teamwork. Everybody's on the same sheet of music. And you're sharing the achievement of goals. And the message of this card is to get with the program and find balance and enjoyment through your work and collaboration with others. Find a happy place with others, because I don't think you have, or completely have. Now down on the bottom right for your throat for teachings and communicating, you receive the Six of Swords and the Seven of Cups. Now the Six of Swords is a card about moving on, just like the Eight of Cups. It's telling you for a second time, maybe you should rethink some things and move on away from some things. And the Seven of Cups is saying the same thing. The Seven of Cups is about a difficult decision. There's a prize and a poison in each cup, and you're not sure which cup to lose and which cup to choose. But if you don't make a decision, that's a decision too. And boy, this is reinforced up in the third eye for seeing and envisioning. You received the Two of Swords twice. And two, to me, means decision, balance, and partnership. But this is also another hard decision, because the woman has her two arms over her heart chakra. And it's meaning that there's equal but opposing forces that are tearing you apart, because you don't know which way to turn. And you're in the middle of some type of dilemma. And this is reinforced up in the crown for knowing and understanding, because you received the Tower. Now the Tower showed up in this May series quite a few times, but it's only been like fault zones running underneath the Tower. But here, this is like a collapse. It is time to free yourself from bondage. You know, you've got the Nine of Swords down there. It's keeping you up at night. Something's bothering you. You know, you've got the Five of Cups. And in the background, normally of the Five of Cups, there's always an illustration of a bridge, and it's telling you to walk over the bridge. You know, some cups are spilled, but some are still full. And you have to look at life as the cups are half full and not half empty. Now, this Tower card is starting to shake not only your conscious, but your unconscious self. Your whole cage is starting to shake. And the clarification card is the Queen of Cups. She's staring into a cup with a cover over it. This is indicating that you're supposed to use your intuition to start driving your decisions. I mean, logic and reason has to be behind it. But you haven't been listening to your gut feelings. You haven't been listening to the subtle messages from the cosmos that's saying, yeah, you really have to change to make yourself happy again. Now, we've discussed the past, so let's skip over to the future. The main card is Temperance. You know, she's there for the rebuilding and to clean up the rubble from the nuclear explosion of the tower. It's kind of like the cosmos left you a blank canvas, and now you have to do cautious brush strokes. Use moderation and self-control and restraint while shedding impulsive desires. All types of relationships require temperance. And resisting change makes you your own worst enemy. And I'd mention that to Gemini too, is that they've been their own worst enemy because they haven't been able to make decisions. Now, I pulled two clarification cards for the future card and received the Chariot and the World. The Chariot is about overcoming opposition, overcoming opposing forces, and using discipline and willpower to move yourself forward. And the World card is there to say, yes, if you can do that, then you've earned and learned, and you can change. Don't fear the Tower card. It's there for a readjustment and a reset button for your life. And it's there because it was direly needed to show up in this reading. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.